Hello Saberform, this is Venturous. I'm here with a review of my new staff, which is the Dark Standard Issue version 3, the limited edition with the vertical grooves. I've had this for a few days now, been able to test it out and such, and I'll be covering all the various aspects that I've come up with to give you a full review of this. I'll also put some video at the end of me spinning it around so you can see how it handles and such. So the first category that I'm going to talk about is the build quality. Now, this thing feels like a club in the hands. This thing is very, very solidly built. I first picked it up and it feels like you could easily kill someone if you hit them with it. That's how heavy this thing is. It's the aircraft grade aluminum really gives it a nice feel. It doesn't feel like you could hurt it at all. I mean, it's just it's a pleasure to hold, really. The switches are very nicely done. If you turn it on, this guard around the switch here, if you can see that, you're not going to be able to turn that off when you're spinning it, so it's a good design there. The CoverTech wheel I had placed opposite. As you can see here, I have the blade plugs in as well. There's some nice, there's a nice finish around the end there. These vertical grooves really give you a good grip. Now, I will say, this is almost too well built because these vertical grooves can be a bit sharp at times, as well as these. I don't know if you can see this, but my hand here, I've got some cuts just from spinning it because these grooves in this hill can really scratch you up, especially when doing the OB anti-spins. That's where I got this one. So just a little something to be aware of there, is these things can be sharp, so if you're going to do some heavy spinning, maybe wear some gloves just to avoid that. So build quality, I definitely have to give this a 10 out of 10. This thing is very, very solidly built. You can feel that when you hold this thing. I mean, if I had to guess weight on it, I'd say maybe 5 to 7 pounds connected like this. Each hilt by itself is probably going to be maybe 3 or 4 pounds, something like that. But it does feel very nice. It's very thick as well. As you can see, my hand's wrapped all the way around it and my fingers do not touch my palm. Now, to give you a comparison of the thickness, this is what I'm normally used to using. This is just a wooden garden rake, and as you can see, the difference in grip, it's quite a bit thicker. The staff I'm normally used to using is actually the width of one of the blades for this, if that tells you anything. So, yes, build quality, definitely 10 out of 10. The next category is brightness. This thing, I expected it to be bright. I also have the Ultra Edge heavy grade blades, and it's still, even with those, which on the forums I think Deep said that's not one of the better blades to get with red, but it really does show pretty well with it. I got the lithium ion setup, so that brightness, the only time I've charged the batteries is when I first opened it, which was at least 3 or 4 days ago. I haven't charged it since, and it's still holding its brightness pretty well. And I'll pop a blade in later so you can see the brightness of that. But yeah, brightness again. I don't know what it would look like in the mid-grade blades of the standard version, not the Ultra Edge. But the Ultra Edge, it does definitely carry the color all the way out to the edge, and it gives the blade a fuller look. It's definitely bright all the way up the blade. There's no dimming whatsoever. And yeah, it really looks good at night. You can light up any room with the blades. So brightness, again, 10 out of 10. My next category is, well, I guess blade strength. So far I haven't done any heavy dueling with them, but I have batted them together a few times, and you know, they feel like they're pretty solidly built. You're not gonna break the heavy grade blades at all. I think I've smacked a counter or a bookcase here or there, and there's no dents, there's no scratches, there's nothing, there's no visible signs of wear or tear. So I can't say anything about the mid-grade blades, but the heavy grade blades, you're set on those. They're not going to get damaged. My fourth category is internals. Now, I'm going to pop one of these off to show you that. Now, everything up till now has been a 10 out of 10. Now, the internals, I only have one complaint with it, and it's not really a bad thing, but it's something I struggled with when I first got this. When I first took it out, you know, the wiring is fine. There's nothing wrong with the wiring. It looks good. Not that I have any experience in wiring, but to my eyes, it looks like it was well built. The problem I had with was the battery case. Now, like I said, I got the lithium ion setup, if you can see that there. Now, these batteries, I literally, not exaggerating, spent 30 minutes trying to get these batteries out. I did see Emery's video of different ways to get it out with a guitar pick. I did not have a guitar pick at the time, so I tried credit cards, you know, anything I could find, and anything I used actually bent, and these things were not budging. So eventually, I actually had to get a small pocket knife with a very thin blade and stick it between the battery and the case, and it just popped right out. So if you can find anything small, thin, and pretty rigid, not resilient, because anything that bends, it's just going to bend. It's not going to really get it out of there. So anything small, stiff, and rigid, just get between the battery and the case and it'll pop right up. I also tried, once the batteries were out, putting a piece of tape underneath so you have a little tab to pull. That didn't work either. I used heavy grade duct tape and the tape just slipped right out. I mean, I complain about that because I had a hard time getting them out, but once they're in there, they're not coming out. I mean, I don't know if I have seen other setups with the standard like alkaline or nickel batteries, which looks like a different setup, but the lithium ion batteries, you know, I'm pretty confident that I could do some very, very hard dueling and these aren't going to budge, which I guess is a good thing. But that initially getting them out is pretty difficult. So, that was internals. Now handling. Like I said, this thing feels very, very solid. You can definitely defend yourself just with this. You wouldn't even need the blades if someone attacked you. I will say it's quite a bit heavier than I was anticipating. I guess I showed you what I'm used to using. This thing here probably weighs 2 pounds at most. This, with the heavy grade blades on both ends, I would guess at least feels like it weighs a good 10 pounds or more. Maybe that's just me being weak, but the first time I tried spinning it, you know, it felt very, very slow. I couldn't do anything I'd normally do with the other staff. But I mean, I'm slowly building that speed up. Again, it's just it was just heavier than I thought it would be, which I guess, you know, to some people that's a good thing. But I prefer speed more than, you know, brute force. So if I was dueling, definitely I would use this. But if I'm just out in the back spinning, then I want something a little bit lighter than this, maybe a little bit thinner in the grip. Because like I said, my fingers don't even touch my palm and I'm used to that, so that's just something I need to get used to, I guess. So now I guess I'm going to pop the blades in and give you a height comparison as well as give you the color of the blades as well. So I'll see you in a minute. Okay, so the blades are on. Now to get them off, I ordered the hex wrench that they send you, but I found a little bit better tool is one of these, just because it's harder to lose, and it's something you can always carry around with you. You know, it has the different hex sizes in case you ever need them. So a little good tool to have. But here's the blade plugs that I had. I'm not sure if you can be able to see this, but the retention screw puts those nice little holes in it, which it does as the blades as well. But again, it's not too much of a problem, especially with the heavy grades. So I'll go ahead and turn one of these on, so you can see. So as you can see, it's right now it's about 2:20 p.m. in the afternoon, and I have some kitchen lights on, so it's still very, very bright. Now, I'm sure on the camera it looks very, very orange because of the intensity. In person, it actually does look a little bit orange to my eyes, especially down here at the emitter. But if you're in a dark room, I mean, maybe if you can see it on my hand, it is very, very Sith red. I mean, you'll see that, especially if you turn it on at night in a dark room. You'll see that it's very, very deep red. But at least to my eyes, it looks just a little bit orange within the blade. Now, maybe that's just the intensity of it. I mean, I know on the camera it'll definitely take red and make it orange because of the intensity, but yeah, I guess I was expecting more of a pure red to my eyes, but again, that just may be due to the intensity. So, also with the Ultra Edge Heavy Grade, I never noticed this before, but it does have that light in a tube effect going on here. And these are the Ultra Edge Heavy Grade. If you can see it, it's got that white polycarbonate going on there. But as I look at it now, it does have a slight light in a tube effect. Maybe that's just because I'm looking at it under pure lighting, but at night, you know, it really looks like it brings that light all the way to the edge. So, let me see if I can get it really close here so you can see the color. I can't really see the camera screen, so I'm just assuming here. But hopefully you can see a more accurate color there, because I know cameras like to have that white glow within the blade. Here, back up a bit. Here's the other side if you can see it. Now to give you a height comparison, I am 5'9". I did some measurements. Let's see. Actually, let me bring this over here. Okay, my previous staff that I'm used to using stands 4 foot 5.5 feet, and I'm 5'9", so I'm a good foot taller than this one. Now the Saber, the Ultra Saber, there's some measurements on that as well. The Saber hilt itself without the blades is 23.5 inches, so almost 2 feet in length. With both blades on, it measures 6 feet 10 inches. So 6'10". So it's a good foot taller than me. Now, this is very hard for me to spin down here, which I'm used to. This is the height I'm used to spinning. So I'm forced to pull my grip up a bit to avoid hitting the ground, which I personally don't enjoy. I mean, I like being able to spin down here if I need to, but especially if I'm doing those Obiani spins, it's very hard to do those without smacking the ground. But like I said, you know, it's very solidly built. It feels like more of a sword actually than, especially when you're just doing one hilt. But you know, in a duel, I wouldn't be hesitant to use this at all. So, as for the construction and everything overall, I'd say definitely 10 out of 10 for the whole thing. The only problems, like I said, I had were getting the batteries out the first time and the heaviness of the blade, just getting used to that. But other than that, you know, it's a very quality product. I think I spent $270, something like that, for the whole thing. And I'll actually show you the each one individually. Just give me a sec. So when you order them together as a staff, of course you get the coupler. Now I didn't get sound in these, so I just got the flush coupler, which is that thing there. So that helps you make that allows you to put them together to make a staff. Now the actual pommels for each hilt are also LE version. Again, just standard without the vents on the bottom for sound. So pop one of those on, and there's your hilt with the single pommel, which is very, very good for a two-handed grip, I gotta say. I have about average hands. I don't have big or bulky hands, so, and you know, it's very nice two-handed. Very, very nice. You can get a low and high grip. You can get more of a, you know, an actual lightsaber grip. So, and again, these vertical grooves, they really provide a good grip on that. So, yeah. Overall, I'm pretty happy with it. I'll definitely be ordering from Ultra Sabers again, hopefully with my next paycheck. I think on that one I'm going to get an Initiate hilt and Initiate blades, just to give myself some variety with that. So overall, very quality product. I highly recommend it. If you're a little bit shorter than me, I would recommend getting Initiate blades maybe. Or even, if you want to go with the 32, I would definitely stick with the mid-grade and not the heavy grade, unless you really intend to do a lot of dueling. But other than that, very good product, very happy with it. Again, I've only had it a few days and the battery charge has held pretty well. Again, you can see 2 in the afternoon, heavy light, and it still is the dominant thing in the room. So, yeah, that was my Ultra Sabers saber review. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on the forums. Bye.